Okay, video number 2. Here we go. Today we're playing House Greyjoy, Kings of Winter. Talked about the Kings of Winter agenda itself in my last video, so let's just get right into the deck. The plot deck, I believe, is exactly the same as our Baratheon Kings of Winter plot deck. Turns out most of these cards still work pretty well with Greyjoy. The two barring the gates, there is a little bit of anti-synergy with the Drowned God Fanatic, but that's not a big deal. Greyjoy likes this nothing burns like the Kold plot even more than Baratheon. We only have Iron Mines as our non-limited, and our attachments are totally expendable, plus a pinch of powder would ideally never be in play during plot phase anyways. Other than that, it's, pretty typical compared to what we had before. I did choose to use the King in the North as the 7th plot here with the King of Salt and Rock and the King Balon Greyjoy to enable it. This is sort of a flex spot. It could be counting coppers. It could be trading with the Pintoshi if you wanted to do that because, you don't have trade routes, I guess. It could even be like Rise of the Kraken. I just felt like the King in the North is the most consistent plot that will probably, have a big impact if you're able to play it at a good time. The draw deck here, there's nothing too out of the ordinary. We're not doing Drowned God, we're not doing Warships, we're not doing anything weird like that. It's sort of typical big Greyjoy characters with all the good cards that you would normally expect. We do have 12 large characters, the 4 best ones that you would expect to see. We can use Victarion again, and that's pretty nice. And we have them all in triplicate because number 1, we really want to draw into them to start with, and then number 2, we really want to draw duplicates of them to protect them. So that's pretty important. These characters are like the whole game plan. We don't really have a lot going for us without them. But since we have so many expensive cards in the deck, expensive characters at least, we also have 11 economy cards, including a couple of King's Roads. We really want to ensure that we're able to play those big characters. And as Greyjoy, I feel like playing King's Roads is more acceptable because if you use one of these to pay for like a Victarion or whatever up front, ideally, he's never going to go away because you have saves, so that way your investment is not wasted when the opponent just flips a reset compared to if you were playing King's Road and other factions. We do have sort of a meme combo here with the Pinch of Powder, which ideally it can do some work on its own, but with Greyjoy in particular, you have this Raider from Pike card, and if you don't know the combo here, the Raider from Pike gives each weapon card in your hand ambush X, with X being the cost. And Pinch of Powder is a weapon with no printed cost, meaning that it defaults to 0 as its printed cost. So using this card that's supposed to cost 3 for 0 instead seems pretty powerful if we're ever actually able to pull it off. Last and probably least, we do have one copy of Fish Whiskers. This is a character who cannot be defended against if there are more winter than summer plots revealed. Probably still not great because he costs 5 and we don't really have that much unopposed tech. The only one, I guess, is the We Do Not Sow. But if you're not playing this card in Kings of Winter, when are you ever playing it? So I just threw one copy of him in there. So let's play some big characters, turn them sideways, maybe use Valar Morghulis, hopefully win a game. Alright, Martell, The Wars to Come. Interesting. This hand is bad because there's no economy, so we're going to mulligan. That's a much better hand. Even though we don't have any big characters in this starting hand, we can set up, looks like 0, 2, 2, 4 cards, and we have a Rose Road to start, so that's pretty good. This Martell Wars deck, I feel like this is one of the decks that got nerfed the most by the restricted list because he cannot use Flea Bottom, and he can't use Breaking Ties either, and both of those are really good for Martell. So we'll see what happens here. It'll be interesting to see what he's playing, if it's any different from the standard Martell trick stuff that you would normally see. Wow, it's a really crappy setup for him. So it's a Bastard Viper deck. I'm not too concerned about that because I can get rid of this guy with Valar Morghulis, assuming that he doesn't get a duplicate of him or something, and I don't know, I just don't feel that threatened by him in general. This Shandystone location, I've tried to play with this myself. It seems pretty terrible, and we can probably neutralize it with the Lordsport Shipwright if we really need to, but probably just ignore it. He started with Duran's Behest. I really hope he doesn't have, what is the one that gives me 0 gold? Good, he doesn't have it. Trading, that's fine. I would not advise people to play trading into Greyjoy unless you know that you're also going to have saves, because you give me a bunch of gold to start off with to marshal my big dudes. I'm going first, so I'm going to marshal Victarion. Let's put out the reducer. Why not? But yeah, you're going to let me marshal a bunch to start off with, and if I don't like what you marshal, I'm just going to hit Valar and save my guy anyways. 4 gold. So let's get these two cost characters. We don't have anything in our hand that costs gold, and I'm going to save this to kneel a Great Hall if he plays that, but otherwise I guess I'll kneel this Shandystone because I have 2 of these shipwrights, so why not? 7 characters on turn 1. I like that start. Actually, I have 2 shipwrights, so I guess let's just go ahead and do that. Although now looking again, those are my only intrigue icons, but he has 4 reserves, so intrigue might not be very important. Let's get this guy ready if he plays a Great Hall. Or like King's Road, we definitely kneel a King's Road. I guess this was good to go ahead and kneel, because if I go first and attack with Victarion and kneel his Red Viper, then I want to do another challenge. He could use it to stand the Red Viper. But another problem with this card is I could just play around that pretty easily by, let's say, I do military first with Victarion and kneels the Viper, and then I just don't do any more challenges. And the Viper is then going to stay down and this location does nothing. Oh, another big character. Shadows, interesting. I'm not sure what this could be. I have to be a little bit scared that it's a pinch of powder. I hope, well, geez. Looking at this, it looks like he's just going to have to kill one of his dudes. I don't see how he can get around that. Let's go for the military with Theon. I don't know, maybe he has a trick to prevent one of these from dying to military claim. We're also feeling pretty safe here because we have not 1 but 2 treacheries in our hand in case there's any weird character abilities that come out. So we defended with the Viper. I don't know what's going on here, why he would do that. I don't know if that's a misplay or if he's just pretty new to the game and doesn't realize what Theon does. I don't know. Maybe he's taking a moment to realize why his 5 strength character is not able to defend against my 2 strength character. Killed Duran, interesting. Well, let's get an intrigue. And we'll do a power with Victarion. We're going to win dominance anyways, 2-1. And getting renown on Victarion's good, plus we get the unopposed. Well, I would say that's a pretty good start. I really like my chances in this game. I don't really see how this guy is going to come back from this, but you never know with Martell, I suppose. Poor Martell, they had their glory days, but they really have fallen off. I'm not that sad about it either. I really hated playing against these Martell Wars to Come decks that play like 5 resets plus Varus. That was just boring. I'm really glad that's kind of gone away. I guess we're going to play Barring the Gates because he has a card in Shadows, and he's Martell, and sometimes, they have Ambush. We could do Nothing Burns to discard this Shandy Stone, but I just don't care about this location. I mean, plus I can just kneel it, so it's super irrelevant to discard it. Winter Festival. Hey, we're the ones playing Kings of Winter. You're not supposed to do that. I don't understand what this guy's deck is or what he's doing. Wars to Come, and then one of them is like Winter Festival. I don't know. Feel kind of bad for him. We're going to play Balon because he enables the King in the North if we want to play that. Then we will probably not marshal anything else. We can't bring out Euron, and there's not much reason to marshal any of these other cards. Just go ahead and kneel that. We're going to save the Acolyte because we already have a gigantic board, and if he plays Valar Morghulis or whatever, then this gives us another little dude to marshal out. Come on, dude, don't take too long. I can't blame him too much, though, because he's only got 5 gold. He's probably... Oh, there's the 5. I could even cancel that if I wanted. I'm not going to do it. Puts him over reserve anyways. It's very unlikely that he drew anything he can use because he's on 0 gold. That's also really bad because one of these is just going to die again. This is sad. This is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping to show a better game than this. This is pretty one-sided. I don't think there's any card that he could possibly have that would save him from having to kill Littlefinger here. He defended with the Viper again. That's just strange. Come on, kill Littlefinger. This feels pretty similar to last turn. I guess we're going to follow the same game plan of declaring more challenges. This time we get 2 Renowns. And we get the save on Victarion. 2 power on him is always good for insurance. Oh, he gets 2 power off this Winter Festival. That's nice because it actually gives us some power to steal with our power challenges. He's been sticking on 0 power because he's not able to declare any challenges. Discard the dead character for reserve. Makes sense. Let's play the King in the North and try to just win, get this over with, because this is pretty one-sided, not that interesting. Put him out of his misery, so to speak. Did he just play another Winter Festival? Well, that's not going to work. I mean, it is going to activate, but I think he's still going to lose on this turn. Can bring out Euron here, so then I'll have 3 renowns. And if he's nice and declares a military challenge, I can get even more power by killing these guys. Oh, and he made me first. That was quite kind of him. Let's get Euron. Still no reason to marshal the Acolyte. Let's give Balon pillage, I guess. Because he gets to do 2 challenges, and maybe he gets some extra power off the King of Salt and Rock. Make it more likely that we can just win during our challenges. I guess let's kneel the Shandy Stone again. Lingering Venom. That's a little bit late to be playing that. It is mildly annoying if he puts that on Theon, but it would have only mattered if he had done it on like the first turn. At this point, if he puts that on Theon, it's like, okay, I just won't use challenges with Theon. Looks like he can't even decide who to put it on, and now that I'm thinking about it, this does get disabled by the King of the North anyways, so... There was no need to actually kneel the Shandy Stone when I think about it, because that was also disabled by the King of the North. Look at me making these hot misplays. Alright, let's do this. Unopposed power. That'll set us to 13, and then we're going to do a military with all 3 big dudes and just win. The death of his deck in this game is definitely the fact that he doesn't have any good way to deal with military claim, which is a little bit weird. Maybe he needs to be running bodyguards. But since he's Martell, I don't understand why I'm not just seeing, like, he tried to defend Theon again. I have to assume this guy is just new to the game. I don't know. This is the 3rd time in a row he's tried to defend Theon. I don't understand. But yeah, like, with Martell, normally you would have, like, Bastard Daughters and Greenblood Traders and little guys like that you don't mind killing for claim. And we haven't seen any of those. The cheapest character he's played is this Knights of the Sun at 4 gold. We're never even going to get to find out what was in Shadows. Maybe it was a Maiden of Poisons. Good game. I don't know if I can really consider this a good game. In my opinion, it was too one-sided to really be a good game, but we always say GG no matter what. So yeah, he just left without saying GG. I can't really blame him. I really hope I can show a better game than this next time. I think tomorrow, if I record and it's like this, maybe I'll just try a different game, but this is only the second video, so whatever. I'm still just kind of experimenting.